The people who reach the top are often the most insecure because they're much more vulnerable than they were before. They have much more to lose than they have before. When you're young and you're starting out, you really have not much to lose when you're in your 20s. But if you become the president or the top of a corporation in your 30s, you now have much more vulnerabilities. You have your reputation at stake.
Take the word insecurity for a moment.
Yeah.
What makes somebody insecure?
Well, first of all, it's kind of natural to feel insecure. We all go through that. But it depends on your background and who you are. But oftentimes, when we feel insecure, when we feel like there's something about us that's vulnerable, or that is kind of a weak side of us, we try to cover it up. So people are basically they don't want to confront their own insecurities. They don't want to confront their own weaknesses. And that's what tends to make it worse. But if you're in a position where you feel confident, you have the experience, you know what you're doing, you know that, for instance, you're able to do this job, you're able to pull it off, you don't really have insecurities. So a lot of insecurities stem from the fact that you're kind of pretending that you think you know what you're doing, but you're not really prepared. You're not really as experienced as you think you are. And you're in a role that you're not necessarily up for fulfilling. And deep down inside, you're aware of it. And I try and tell people, often the most powerful people around you can be the most insecure. I don't know if you confronted that with the people in government that you were dealing with.
No, I obviously did. It's not going to come as a surprise to you. My press conference, I only did one press conference inside the White House, but, General Kelly, who fired me, told me it wasn't the phone call I made to the journalist. It was my press conference that ultimately got me fired because I was answering the questions straight up, and it was causing too much attention to be drawn away from the principal. Right. And that was it, boom. And so, no problem. Probably the best thing that ever happened to me was getting fired from the situation. But I definitely violated one of your laws there. But I guess I'm trying to understand the insecurities, because if you take somebody that's the president of the United States, you would probably think that they're not going to be that insecure, that they'd have a game, that they'd have some level of self-confidence. But you're right. Sometimes these people that are in these very big, powerful positions are the most insecure, and they're overcompensating for something. So how do you handle that, sir?
Well, you have to be aware of it, so we like to think, the problem with humans is we take everything upon appearances. If somebody acts like they're very strong and very confident, they're the boss, they reach this, he or she reached this top position, they must be strong, they must not have any insecurities. And I'm telling you, the people who reach the top are often the most insecure because, first of all, they're much more vulnerable than they were before, right? They have much more to lose than they have before. When you're young and you're starting out, you really have not much to lose when you're in your 20s. But if you become the president or the top of a corporation in your 30s, you now have much more vulnerabilities. You have your reputation at stake. You have people around you. So the other thing that happens when you're in a position of power is everyone around you is a yes man or a yes woman. They're telling you what you want to hear, right? They're trying to impress you. They're trying to get on your good side. So you're never getting an honest appraisal of who you are, and you never quite feel comfortable about it. You never quite feel, do people really like me? Am I as popular as I seem to be? They're saying they love my ideas, etc. But people in power are often very, very insecure about the degree to which they're liked. I think when I look at someone like Elon Musk right now, I see someone who's actually extremely insecure about himself and needs attention and wants to prove to himself that he's as strong and powerful as his reputation seems to warrant, right? And so he's kind of constantly playing for attention here. And so when you reach these positions, right, you never quite feel comfortable. You never feel, do I deserve it? Do people really like me as much as they do? You're not necessarily consciously voicing this or even thinking it, but unconsciously it's making you very, very insecure, right?